Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are still working on filling in our little area over here, and that should go, in theory, pretty well. Unfortunately, we are pretty negative in energy credits right now. That's definitely something that we need to work on. No doubt about that one. And one might ask, well, why are we so negative in energy credits? The answer is starbases. That's unsurprising. That is pretty much always the answer. But for right now, we're going to head on down over this way. It's a long ways away, but we're going to start working on some of these anomalies over this way, and then we'll come back up over here. Excellent. Now, I'm not particularly worried about losing this many energy credits per month. It's fine. There's actually no problem here. Oh, look at that. No problem at all. It just recalculated. Fantastic. As it was, I was still completely comfortable with losing 100 energy credits per month because we'd be able to do something about it. So no problem there, but after many weeks of study, our expert linguists have unearthed the meaning behind the documents found on Cordip 7a. The documents were philosophical ponderings by a famous scholar, only referred to as Telisa, the teller of tales. Her teachings have provided us with much insight into how to better gain political results via applying different states of mind and use larger scale questions as a focus for reform. Okay, so we have access to an edict from that. That's okay. No big deal there. We are going to need additional energy credits, of course. There's no doubt about that one. I think the best way to go about getting those energy credits would be to harvest this trade value. That would certainly be a good thing to do. It also bears noting that we have a lot of colonies and colony ships developing right now, and it's less expensive than it used to be sure, but it's still quite a big expense there. A faction influence gain would have been awfully nice to get a while ago. Honestly, at this point, we don't need it. We don't care about diplomatic weight either, so I think we're going to grab the Fleet Academy and Naval Logistics Office for our starbase, or for our future shipyards, shall we say. The Empire capital, of course, can be upgraded, and that's great. Just a day after finishing our mining station on the trapped asteroid, the rock abruptly rotated, destroying the mining station. In the process of doing this, even more rare crystal deposits were exposed to our sensors. Well, we'll build it again. Or we could study the strange asteroid. I think we're just going to take the rare crystals. I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth. Excellent. Okay, so we are fighting somewhere. Up here. Got it. This is what we ordered, and we should have absolutely no problem with this. None at all. Excellent. Next, of course, we're going to move down over here and fight the mining core over here. These guys, I'm actually not going to send them up there. We're going to have them come down this direction. We've got some work for them over here, and that'll be just fine. Intellectual booty. There's our destroyers ready. That's great. Alloy Megaforges is not a terrible thing right now. We'll go ahead and take that. Fantastic. Our construction ships aren't doing anything, and we should definitely have them doing something. We'll go build in Olimar. That'll be perfect. Excellent. So we're going to have this all filled in relatively soon here. Should be no real issue. And we'll begin fighting these drones. We may lose a couple of corvettes, but overall, we definitely expect to win this. Fantastic. So we're now going to go repair, and that'll be at Devasa, apparently, but I'm actually going to take them back to Haven Sky. It's further away, but that's fine. After completing the terraforming of Yoman C3, our terraforming specialists have spotted yet another golden opportunity. We're doing really well on our terraforming. The remaining terraforming equipment can potentially be repurposed as infrastructure for the planet. So we could build housing, foundries. Okay, I see. So we can build a district, 2 generator districts, 2 mining districts, 2 agriculture districts, or just scrap it. Okay, so this is the system in question, I think. Yoman C3 is the one that we want. Okay, so this one. This would make a great industrial planet. So we'll build some industries. Cool. And then we'll go colonize that, of course. Sounds good. Our rural world over here could definitely use nothing at all. But our colony here needs housing. We'll put in a city district for that for now. That should do the trick. Fantastic. The Periplus, of course, is not doing anything. We're going to have it research these projects and then survey in each of these locations. That'll keep it busy for a little while. Should be fine. One of the mini-moons circling Rigel 2 has a terminal orbit. It will soon collide with the gas giant in what is sure to become a massive impact event. This event has been millions of years in the making, and it's a startling coincidence that the impact has been fated to occur just after a visit by one of our ships. Many of our scientists wish to observe and record the event, but we have only a narrow window before it's too late. Okay, we will definitely go ahead and do that.
A new port to call home.
Excellent. Hearthsea 2 now exists. We're going to immediately begin construction of a gene clinic. Tadasca Prime requires a job. This is, of course, an agriculture world right now. I mean, district-wise, this isn't a very good world, all things considered. We're probably going to want to continue pumping out the city districts and turn this into a scientific world a little bit later on. So I think for now, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's go into the research labs here, and let's switch this over to a tech world. Excellent. We can also shift some of these a little later on, but for now we'll build a city district as well. Now, of course, we're going to need to clear out the tile blockers there, but now is not the time for that, given what we've got going on with our energy credits. So that's fine. The Damp Tyrant of Fire is going to continue pushing over this way, although we're actually lacking influence. Okay. I wasn't necessarily expecting to be lacking influence, but fair enough. Okay, you're moving here. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, you should come back to Tadasca and then head up here. There we go. Perfect. We're not in any huge rush to get all this done. We're just trying to get ourselves set up as a bit of a galactic power. And we've got a lot of work to do on that front yet. A whole lot of work. So that's okay. We're going to run out of space to expand over here quite soon. This is not a bad thing. We were successful in our attempt to record the collision between Rigel 2 and its moon. The event was captured from several different angles and transmitted live throughout our space. Most importantly, our scientists under the leadership of Abibel were able to record a large amount of valuable physics data that will surely benefit our research. Excellent. I can't help but notice that we're not surveying over here, and we don't have any science ships in this area. Once we're done here, we're going to survey up this way. We don't actually have access to explore those natural wormholes just yet, but there we go. The Tyrant of Fire is going to move up to Sauli over here. And we'll go ahead and construct there. That'll be absolutely fine. We do have a frontier sector colony here that requires a job, and actually this requires a housing, and we're going to build a city district to fix that. Fantastic. Where are our ships right now? Our fleet, specifically? Ah, up here. They'll be a while before they get back to Haven Sky. That's fine. I do want to hop into our Corvette here and check. We've got the ion thrusters, but we want to put afterburners onto these things. So there we go. We don't have access to level 2 armor just yet, but our destroyers, we want to have those be a picket ship and probably an interceptor ship like this. And then we're going to have that be barrier point defense, and then we're going to do, I think, blue lasers all the way for right now until we have a good reason to equip anti-shield weapons. We're going to put half armor and half deflectors. Keep that fairly balanced. Again, for now, until we have such a time... Actually, we're going to swap these over to mass drivers. Until such a time as we know what we're going to be fighting, we're going to be fairly balanced here. We can run afterburners if we wanted to have the extra evasion, and for now, I think that's okay. We made an encounter with the Theta Menace in the Tadasca system. We should definitely look into that. Excellent. There we go. Warning sirens blared across Tadasca as a massive crystalline beast left the shelter of the asteroid we've been drilling into and extracting crystals from. Seems angry. Battle stations. So where is Tadasca? Okay. Interesting. So, we have settlements here. It's only 187 strength. So our military fleet will head in over here. It will not actually take it that long to get there. Our construction ship is missing. That's okay. And we're going to just head down over this way. The Tyrant of Fire, for now, is going to build mining stations. Active scans of Rigel 3 have picked up what appears to be a large ship deep inside the atmosphere of the gas giant. Judging by the nearby debris, there have been several failed attempts to salvage this derelict in the past. Any ship strong enough to withstand such crushing gravity must be a magnificent prize, and Science Officer Abibel has proposed a salvage project of our own. I think, actually, we're going to leave it be. We don't need one of those ships, and I'd rather have the 50 influence, since we're starting to even run into issues with 3 construction ships, including one not constructing. Yeah, with 2 construction ships actually actively spreading our borders, we're running into issues. So we'll hold off on that. Plasma throwers. Great. I think we'll go for disruptors next. Disruptors are probably the better anti-shield weapon. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. But for now, like I said, we're going to keep our fleets fairly balanced. We may end up losing a couple ships here. Our armor's kind of low in some of these locations, but we'll see what ends up happening here. Pictling, your species is a most worthwhile addition to the galactic community. As a token of our esteem, we've decided to bestow upon you a generous gift of valuable minerals and resources. Cool. So they're giving us some stuff that we probably don't need, but it's okay. It's okay. Here we go, fighting the crystalline entity, and yeah, no problem. Go ahead and go upgrade. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to... It didn't actually destroy our mining station. Hilarious. Okay. I feel like it should have, but we're going to go grab Yidixa as long as we're over here. We're also going to grab Sugelia. That'll be fine. The irregularity we had designated as Theta Menace appears to be made of some sort of crystalline material. Curiously, it seems to be able to propel itself across the void and protect itself when necessary, indicating that it may be alive. Our researchers are working hard to find out more. Well, we've already killed it, so we'll see how much we can figure out. While conducting their survey of Fiona's 5, the Damp Knight's beacon detected the remains of an automated shipyard in orbit. It is at least 1,000 years old, but seems to have been subjected to a heavy missile barrage. But one of its manufacturing bays is still in working condition. Science Officer Baltart is confident that power can be restored to the shipyard, but it would be a significant project. Okay, well, we can go ahead and do that, but we're not really in any rush to do that at this time. Okay. No issues going on over here right now. This science ship is not currently doing anything. We are actually going to send that over to Tadasca, I believe it was, right? Yeah, Tadasca Prime is where we want to send it. And once we have arrived at Tadasca Prime, we are going to assist research for right now. Unless we want to work on archaeological sites. You know what? Let's do it. That'll be fine. So the Tyrant of Fire has finished its construction here, and we're lacking 20 influence, so we'll just tick on forward. We may want to get rid of one of our construction ships here. Although, realistically, there's not too much for this one to do over here at this point that's going to be spending any influence, so we may want to hold off on that. Go build a mining station in Birkenmar, and then one in Kiram, and then hopefully by the time it's done with that, these will be surveyed. Our researchers have finished investigating the reports of extraordinary free-floating, crystal-like objects observed in the Tadasca system. Their findings are startling. The ship-sized objects and their slightly smaller but equally crystal-like satellites at first appeared inert, but sudden shifts in their orientation relative to our ships and new energy signatures emerging from within the prisms indicate that they should be regarded as hazardous and approached with extreme caution. We should deploy a fleet to gauge the crystal's offensive strengths, should they possess any, and destroy them, if they're a threat. And indeed, we did. We already did that.
We are being contacted by aliens.
Are we, though? We kind of aren't. For some reason, someone has towed an asteroid into a stable orbit around Fiona 6. The massive engine sections and braking thrusters can still be found on the surface, although they've long since been rendered inoperable. Whoever did this also mined the asteroid for minerals, but these operations were seemingly abandoned shortly after they begun. Interesting. Okay. So there's our naval logistics office finished up. We could grab some admin cap if we wanted to. But society research is more important to us right now. Now, we are negative on food, and that is definitely an issue. An issue to be sure. For now, though, there's not too much to do about that. I do want to go to Haven Sky and replace the crew quarters here with a fleet academy. Now, eventually, do we want to replace it or just build it in this slot when we upgrade to Starhold? We'll just build it in this slot, I think. We'll want to rebuild that anyway, so I think that's just a waste of alloys and time. No real point in doing that at this exact moment. We'll build our mining stations over Yi Dixa, and the Tyrant of Fire should be able to build its starbase over Haldus now. And yes, indeed it can, so that is wonderful. Okay. We're at 2.1k energy credits right now. We may want to consider selling some minerals here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, because we want to continue terraforming over here. Excellent. We briefly detected some unusual energy readings emanating from this planet. It may have been a glitch in our systems, or it could be a sign of something more, and we'll find out. We will absolutely find out. So these guys have arrived at Haven Sky, so we should absolutely add destroyers to the fleet. We can only fit 5 for now, but that's okay. We will do exactly that, and this is our auto-best destroyer. Gross. Absolutely gross. So we're going to create ourselves a new destroyer design, and as I said before, picket ship, and we're going to have it be an interceptor ship stern. We're going to do this, and we're going to put in afterburners for now. We'll probably change that up a little bit later on, but we will then... Do we want to put in plasma in place of the lasers? That's a good question. And I think the answer to that is yes. We'll put in plasma, and we'll put in mass drivers. Excellent. We'll save that as apparently the destroyer class destroyer. That is a very creative name. I love it. It is absolute perfection. And we're going to go ahead and change this over to, instead of being a Beacon of the Skies class, it's going to be a destroyer class destroyer. Perfection. Absolute perfection. I love it. We're going to go ahead and construct those destroyer class destroyers. And the Tyrant of Fire will go ahead and build the mining and research stations over here, and then it will move up to Hadnock and grab those volatile motes. We are now done with our engineering research, and let's go ahead and take Starholds next. Excellent. Now you can definitely see that we're negative on food. That's not necessarily shocking.
A new colony has been founded.
In Hadricus, always good. Okay. So we right away want to get that gene clinic rolling. That is always going to be the first construction in each of these colonies. Every time. We got to get that population moving. So this is going to increase our food issues if we enlarge our forges here. We're not going to do that for right now. And we're over our naval cap. That's unsurprising. But there we go. That's fine. We're definitely going to need some food, and to get that going, we're going to need some of these colonies going. In fact, this is a pretty decent agricultural world. A lot of these are pretty decent worlds, of course. Agriculture worlds are going to be easy for us to come by because of our traits. But what we'd really like to see is some worlds with some modifiers to food production. That would be nice. There's disruptors ready to go. And we can go for ion disruptors immediately if we wanted to, or we could go for hyperdrive 2s, and moving faster is more important, honestly. Decoded ancient data crystals have been found at the dig site, chronicling the Groner's military exploits. While most are local and of little interest, several of the volumes detail the Gruner's first encounter with an alien species, referred to as a bowel organism. Little more can be gleaned about the bowel at this point, save that they were a massive planetoid species and had many colonies seated among the stars. Okay, well, we'll keep digging. This colony here requires housing, so naturally we'll build a city district. Okay, so we're going to be up to 30 out of 20 naval cap. That is going to hurt our maintenance cost a little bit, but we don't really care that much about the maintenance cost of our ships at this point. It's not very much. This tech world requires a job. It's allegedly a tech world. I'm going to immediately designate it an agro world. And we're going to put in a food processing facility here. Picting weaklings, our warriors are on their way to plunder your systems. Face them in battle if you can muster the courage, or cower in fear until they've had their fill of your riches. You can, of course, offer tribute now to spare yourselves from the coming onslaught. If it is sufficient, our warriors may be compelled to turn back. So this is a Slurpanor who are down over here. So they would come in Hiamit, and we probably are not capable of fending them off. But honestly, we don't care about our mineral quantity. We're completely fine giving them that. Our people are safe for now. Excellent. The damp luminary of creation needs to head up over towards Dressel, and we'll go ahead and build the starbase over there. We just got a new colony, and you know what that means. A gene clinic. Excellent. This is deeply unsurprising. Certain irrational and criminal elements of our society have left Hearthsea to lead an outlaw's life in the far reaches of space. In a display of surprising ingenuity, these brigands have heavily modified and weaponized a large number of civilian starships. Our vulnerable trade routes in the Navogi black hole system are now being raided by this improvised starfleet, which identifies itself only as the Immortal Cabal. A prompt response is needed. Indeed it is, and we're going to head over there immediately. I mean, they're going to take out that starbase, which is rude, by the way. Also, that's a nice broken world. I like it. So yeah, I mean, we can take this out. It'll just take us a little time to get there. And like I said, it's deeply unsurprising. These trade routes, we haven't optimized in the slightest. So it's something we need to work on, but we're kind of putting that off at this exact moment until such a time as we are a little bit more finished filling all of this in. That's kind of what we're aiming for. We're very negative right now in our energy credits, and the reason for that, of course, is because our trade is being disrupted.
There is new information.
New ruler mandate. Okay, cool. I honestly don't really care about the mandate. It's not very relevant. We're going to get 10 energy credits out of the Dressel system. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Is this ship not doing anything? No, it's doing something. Okay, the Tyrant of Fire needs to make its way over to, like, Yamet over here. It'll take us a little time to get there, especially since we have to route around this black hole. Yep, that was always going to happen. And in fact, we'll have this construction ship research this project, and then we'll come back to the Navogi system. That'll be fine. Our Chancellor already died, and there's new campaigning underway. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Just checking in on the situation up over here. Ah, okay. Data crystals revealed that the Gruner waged war against the Bowel, desiring their plentiful resources purportedly found on their planets. A set of system coordinates has been successfully extracted from one such record. Our archaeologists are uploading the planet's location to our systems now. Perhaps a closer investigation of Gliderum 3 will prove fruitful. Okay, so we get a special project over here, and that's a precursor chain. Cool. So which science chip was that? This one. And that should be right here. Okay, we'll go ahead and research that. Clearing away the rubble is a painstaking and risky business. Workers and equipment have to be hoisted down hundreds of meters to the dig site, and excavated rubble has to be lifted out. There have been numerous casualties and accidents while working in these trying conditions, but progress is being made, and every day we venture deeper. The walls of the crater are worn and cracked by time, but they plunge unerringly, straight down into the planet's core. We can only speculate how deep it goes, as something in the depths is garbling all of our sensor readings. What could go wrong? What indeed? But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we will continue filling in our territory here, and getting ourselves established as a galactic power. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.